evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the virtual Dover International Speedway for race number 5 of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. Joining me, Andy Kessler, topside in the LSRTV booth, is Gabriel Wood, and as always, producer Cisco Scaramuza is down in the production trailer, getting the picture to you. Tonight, we hit Dover, 120 miles, 120 laps, scheduled distance for this race tonight, and we're in for a good treat. Dover, Gabe, is one of those places, very fast, but it's very narrow. It makes for some treacherous racing, especially side-by-side when you come off of these corners, but it can be a lot of fun. You got to be up on that wheel all race long, and it can make for some exciting passing, some exciting side-by-side action, and it always comes out to be a pretty fun race when we come here at Dover.
Yeah, when real NASCAR comes to Dover, they always talk about the roller coaster, the elevation changes out of turn 2 and coming out of turn 4 and just dropping into this banking. And what we've heard from the drivers lately is this update, it's really changed how these trucks drive, and it makes that transition off and onto the banking very scary, Andy. So look for a lot of these guys in their early laps to smack up into the wall off of 2 and off of 4.
Yeah, and when we talk about this racetrack with all the uniqueness of it, it's almost similar to a Bristol Motor Speedway in the high banks through the corners, but at the same time, it's exactly a half a mile larger than that speedway. And we look at this place here with this concrete surface, makes it kind of interesting. The rubber really builds up into this racetrack, and you also look at the banking in these turns. I mean, 24 degrees of banking. You can carry so much speed at this track, and then it really flattens out real quickly. You talked about that transition just a moment ago, just to 9 degrees on the straightaway. So when you're talking 24 to 9, there's got to be some little bump or something, and that's exactly what we have going into these corners and coming off the corners. And if you're not exactly right on the wheel or have it set up right for coming off these corners, definitely you could either get real snappy loose or real tight coming off these corners. So that's something to watch out, and that's what makes it for some fun racing as well, because you'll see a lot of these guys for the most part try to get single file before the exit of these corners, and that makes the passing a lot more difficult coming off the corners, and you tend to see more of the passing being maybe sort of we'll call it a dive bomb as you enter these corners here.
Yeah, as we're out here on track, we're watching a couple of these guys make lap times. Andy, one thing I want to talk about, as we get away from talking about the racetrack tonight, the season, Andy, it's been absolutely crazy. We've had 4 different winners in the first 4 races going into week 5 now. We've got Chad Lawton on the pole right now with a 23.73. He's one of about 3 or 4 guys breaking into that 7/10 bracket. Andy, looking through the field right now, we've got a chance at a 5th different winner for the first year in the ASCORS series here on iRacing.
Yeah, you definitely look at that. We'll look at the point standings right now, as you talked about, how good this has been with 4 different winners so far in the 4 races that we have. Bentley Glazer right now on top of the standings. He's got 4 top 10s in those 4 starts, but he doesn't have quite a big lead over J.D. Laird. He sits second, 3 points back. So an awful close battle right now. And also, when we look at stats and things like this, you can't see it on your screen, but you look at a guy like Bentley Glazer with those 4 top 10s, he's got a solid average finish, but his laps led, 0 on the season. No bonus points at all for Bentley Glazer at all. So, I mean, he's been doing it with absolute consistency week in and week out. It's just a matter of time with these good finishes that you're going to see him start breaking in and possibly getting a chance at a win here.
Yeah, looks like Dustin Lingert, nobody in the top 10 has got a pole or has got a win this year, and only one person, Dustin Lingert, 5th place in points, has got a pole. So Andy, our winners this year, they've missed a couple of races, I believe. I think Logan Clampett wasn't there for a few races, if my memory serves correctly, but look back here, 8th place, Chase Cabry. He missed a race, and he's minus 40 in points. He's got an average finish, only bettered by the top 2 in points right now, Andy. If Chase was in this championship for the whole season, if he didn't miss that race, we could be looking at a whole different points table.
Oh, you absolutely could be, but that's what makes this cool. And plus, the competition level in the ASCORS Truck Series here is just phenomenal. You got so many guys that could win at any given night. And I think the same holds true here tonight in this race. And that's why I definitely think that we could possibly see our 5th different winner in 5 races. Last week's results, though, at Kansas, Alan Lewis picking up his first win of the season. Only led 2 laps, and he did a good job pulling off the victory over J.D. Laird and a couple other guys. Alan Cryer, we haven't talked much about him all season. He gets a solid 3rd-place finish. E.J. O'Rourke finished 4th. Chase Cabry, like you just mentioned, there finished out the top 5 there. So we see it week in and week out. We've had so many different tracks. We've only had 2.5 miles so far this season in Atlanta, and then last week at Kansas. Then we've had a short track and a super speedway. So Dover kind of fits. It's not necessarily a short track because it really, the speeds these guys carry, I would definitely not put this there. But it's not an intermediate track as well. It's a 1 mile speedway, but it's so fast, and these guys carry so much speed through the corners and down these straightaways. That's what makes it so much fun week in and week out. And I'm looking forward to this one here tonight. Lots of guys, looks like qualifying, starting to close down. You mentioned Chad Lawton on the top of the board right now. Adam Gilliland right now sitting on that 2nd spot. So good job by a lot of these guys. And as I say that, he gets knocked off that that 2nd spot, I should say, with David Krikorian picking that up just by about 5 1/1000ths of a second. So all these guys' top times, lap times are awfully close all the way throughout this field. And other guys making a showing here tonight. Brian Schoenberg right now 5th on the board right now for qualifying laps. So Timmy Hill's here tonight too as well. So we got a pretty good field, and it's a very racy racetrack. These trucks always put on a great show here, and we're getting set to do that for 120 laps here tonight right here on LSRTV. But first, we'll send it down trackside to get tonight's rendition of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We'd like to thank Jaden Berkey for that beautiful rendition of tonight's national anthem. And with that set, qualifying has just about finished. It looks like a few guys deciding to take a provisional, not take a qualifying lap. The track is quiet at the moment, and the clock is about to hit 0. So we'll get this time to take you through the LSRTV starting lineup for the Dover 120 here tonight. Chad Lawton, that 26 machine, a fast time of a 23.733. Good enough to get him the pole, with David Krikorian starting just to his outside in position number 2. Adam Gilliland will roll off in that 3rd spot. J.D. Laird will start 4th, and Brian Schoenberg will round out your top 5.
The number 1 truck at Trey Edson starts 6th. Doy Woods, your winner from Daytona, starts in the 91 car or truck. For that matter, in the 7th position. Alan Lewis in the 8th position. Adam Benefield in 9th. Chase Cabry missed Daytona, like we said, but sitting inside the top 10 in points, starts 10th.
11th on the board in qualifying is the 4 of Timmy Hill. 12th goes to Chad Coleman. Richard Beasley will start 13th. 14th goes to Mitchell Hunt, and Bentley Glazer, our points leader, starts 15th.
38 of Justin Weaver starts 16th. Jordan Hightower starts 17th. Stephen O'Rourke will roll off in 18th. 19th is going to go to the 03 of Jake Simmons. Lewis Calderon in the 20th position.
21st is Tyler King. Tyler Dalton will start 22nd. Row number 12 will be Davey Scoville in that 52 truck starting 23rd. 24th, that 90 truck of Daniel Eberhardt. 25th, first truck. Take a provisional here tonight, the 51 of Justin Fuller.
Sandy said all these drivers choosing not to qualify. So E.J. O'Rourke in that 41 is going to start at 26. 27 is going to go to Tommy Ryan. Admin DJ Lyon in that 000 will not take the green, so he will not be part of the field. 29th, Garrett Smithley in that 63. Alan Cryer in 30th.
31st starter in the 31 truck is Mason Baker. Paul Cooper will start 32nd. 33rd goes to Scott Mitten. Rich Jetty will start 34th. And the 62 truck of John Wilco will round out this 35 truck field here tonight at Dover. 35 trucks, it's a lot of traffic out there. And one thing these guys will have to keep in mind too is lap traffic will be a big key that we'll keep an eye on all night long as these leaders put down these fast lap times. It won't take much, about 20 laps or so, Gabe, and we'll see these guys start getting into that lap traffic here. So the pace car starts the field out onto the racetrack, and we'll begin our first and only pace lap here before the start of this one. Gabe, 120 laps, a little bit of strategy could be involved in this one as well. Track position, always a key when we're at Dover as well.
Yeah, the strategy's all going to be depending on the amount of cautions we get. If this could be a wreck fest like a Bristol or somewhere or Martinsville, or it could be like the mile and a half's clean and green for a long time, and that's all depending on the talent of these drivers and how aggressive they are from the drop of the green flag.
Well, we know we're not lacking any talent in this field with some of these names that we mentioned during that starting grid, and we're getting set to do this battle here tonight. 120 miles, 120 laps. It's pretty easy when you talk about the distance of this race here tonight. Chad Lawton, though, he will lead this field to the green flag. Here's the pace car. Makes its way down to the safety of pit road, and we await the start of this one here. This ASCORS SegPay Truck Series is underway with the green flag out. Chad Lawton with a good jump right there. Looks like the 66 of David Krikorian. A little slow on the start right there. He's going to battle side by side with Adam Gilliland for that second spot off of turn 2.
Oh yeah, great start of the race for that 26 truck at Lawton. He's going to pull off to a huge lead. Looks like he's going to try and lead lap 1. 8 truck, that Jegs machine, Adam Gilliland, gets to the inside of Krikorian. He's going to take that second position. Here comes Schoenberg getting on that 66 as well. That 66 just dropping back. He's under the clutches of J.D. Laird now, but that 26 truck leads lap number 1.
Yeah, starting on the outside lane, it's one of those tracks just like a Martinsville where you want that bottom lane. That's really the place to be, especially on the restarts. Took a little while for David Krikorian to get down there. He finally does fall there in that 5th spot right now, and it looks like that battle for the lead starting to heat up now. It didn't take long. Adam Gilliland now looking for that race lead as they work their way back into turns number 1 and 2. Chad Lawton got off to a pretty good start, pulled out quite a bit, but now he's got his mirror full right now of that 8 truck.
Yeah, that 8 truck, Adam Gilliland, last week at Kansas, dominating performance, but ended up getting wrecked there on the closing laps. He's going to have to get a little redemption there from last week. He's got back on the back of that 8 truck. He's got that 8 truck on the back of the 26 a lot. I'd expect to see just a little bit of mind games here. Not putting the bumper to him, but these guys could surprise me. Looks like he's going for it here on the back straightaway. He's got that inside position on the 26. There he goes, power move. 8 truck Adam Gilliland to the lead.
That was a smart move right there by Chad Lawton. Looks like he just let him go. We talked about it. Racing side by side into the corners is fine, but coming off these corners, that's when it gets treacherous right there. And the 26 doing a good job just letting him go. Let him go right now. It's real early in this race. On lap number 5 now and off of turn number 2. Like the 8 of Adam Gilliland's going to pull up ahead about a couple spots now. Schoenberg sitting in the 3rd spot. Got a few trucks right behind him now as the 23 of J.D. Laird gets a pretty decent run there off of turn number 2, but not enough to pull ahead. Pull back in line right there in that 4th spot. So top 2 spreading out just a bit. And then you got that group of 4 there from 3rd on back. And those guys doing some great job right now racing here. And everybody keeping their nose clean right now. Nobody forcing the issue here early on.
Yeah, talk about not forcing the issue. I don't see any side-by-side action on the racetrack as of right now. So all these guys just trying to make it clean and green. make some room from strategy, like I said, during that pace lap. But Andy, you were talking about catching up lap cars pretty fast. That one truck of Trey Edson, he was qualified to start 6th, but he ended up starting from the pits. You know, maybe just trying to miss some carnage that may have happened on the restart, but that didn't come, and he's falling in the clutches of the 88 truck Adam Gillen, because he's about a straightaway away from him.
Yeah, when you start on the pits in this at this racetrack, it doesn't take long that you almost go a lap down before you even get out onto the racetrack. So he's about a couple seconds here, it looks like, from the race lead, or from the leader, Adam Gillen, catching up to him now. We know that one truck, Trey Edson, is pretty fast. What he's hoping for is an early caution so that he can get caught back up to the field right now, though. But Adam Gillen, since he's taken over that race lead, he's pulled out now way ahead, almost 0.7 of a second now over that second-place machine of Chad Lawton. Not much movement from there on back. Schoenberg got that 3rd spot early on. He's sitting there right now, but we got some side-by-side battle going all over the place here, or a couple spots back, I should say, right there. The Stephen O'Rourke in that 3 truck. He's on the outside. He's got Bentley Glazer right to his inside. They'll settle it out right there. Side-by-side, though, just behind him. That's Daniel Eberhardt in that 90 truck. He looks to take a spot. He does over Justin Weaver there in turn number 1. So move the 90 up after starting 24th. Kind of a disappointing, I would say, qualifying lap for that 90 truck after he was 11th fastest in practice. Had a bad qualifying run. Now he's got his work cut out for him, and we know Eberhardt likes these trucks. He does a great job. We see him a few times a week here on LSRTV and all different kinds of things. He's always one to talk about as far as speed, but he's definitely in a different type of field, I would say. There's a lot more competition, a lot heavier competition for him tonight, but we'll see if he can pick off some more spots as he now looks to the inside of Stephen O'Rourke in that 3 truck, and they'll battle side by side off turn 4.
Yeah, Daniel, I think Daniel's lap, you know, he was fast in practice, and you know he that wasn't just a hot lap. You know, he's fast the whole race. You know, this feels so competitive. I think it just takes one little slip up in qualifying to send you to the back of the pack. What was that, about second to last car or around there of drivers who actually qualified? So that had to be a mistake on his part, just not getting the most out of that car. But as that battle kind of solves itself out, looks like we got the 52 to the inside. He's got, looks like Bentley Glazer's in his sight.
And a points later doing side-by-side battle right there, and not going to be long there as Davey Scoville takes over that spot right there on turn number 3, and that'll move Bentley Glazer back another spot, back to that 15th spot, right where he started this race off some 14 laps ago as they come around to complete lap 14 this time by. Pretty good start to this race. Everybody's spread out, giving each other some room, and this is the type of racetrack we talked about. It could be a lot of wrecks. They tend to happen off of a restart when everybody's so bunched up. But once you get spread out like this is when this track can really play out into a long green flag run, and we see it a lot when you watch these races at Dover. And then you're talking about some fun stuff when you talk about green flag pit stops at this racetrack. Probably one of the toughest pit road entries that you could do on this sim. It comes up on you so quickly when you're coming into turn number 3. And like I said, you're carrying so much speed. All of a sudden, you got to get down to 35 miles an hour, and it happens so quick. You see a lot of mistakes here at Dover on the pit road.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a couple of guys miss pit road here tonight. This pit road is just so hard to do, so hard to get onto, as you said. You know, they're going to have to start braking as soon as they get into the banking there in turns 3 to get it woed up, trying to make it on the pit road, Andy. I expect to see guys miss it, and maybe 1 or 2 guys maybe scrape the end of the pit wall. They're trying to miss the barrels because it's going to be close.
Or get run over from behind, because when you start to wall up pretty quickly, like I said, they carry a lot of speed through these corners. So if you're not no communication with the guys behind you, it'll make for a tough job getting on a pit road. And that's one thing as well. You don't want to get run over right there. Brian Schoenberg, though, has in that 3rd spot started to close the gap on Chad Lawton, sitting there in 2nd. Lawton also has closed the gap just about 0.3 over the last couple laps here on Adam Gilliland. So not sure if Gilliland just pushing the issue here early on. He hasn't really caught any lap traffic to really slow him down here. Trey Edson continuing to stay in front of him. At least for now, it's about 3 or 4 car lengths or truck lengths, I should say, here as they work their way off of turn number 2. But it's not too long, and you'll see that one truck get lapped here. But other than that, Schoenberg in third. He's kind of pulled away from that fourth spot. J.D. Laird was all over his back bumper for a while there at the beginning, but now they've separated themselves just a little bit here. So everything's spread out very nicely here early on. We're working lap number 20 of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series presented by Garrett Smithley Racing. We're going to take a moment to step aside. You're watching right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome you back here to Dover International Speedway, the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, and been clean and green since the start of this one. Working lap number 24 right now. No change really up in the top runners. Adam Gilliland continuing to lead by half a second over Chad Lawton. Brian Schoenberg just about 6/10 off of there too. So the separation between the top three pretty much equal here. Trey Edson though has finally gone a lap down as Adam Gilliland was able to make his way around him just a couple laps ago. He hasn't been able to pull away from that one machine, though. He right now sits right on that back bumper of the 8 of Adam Gilliland right now as Chad Lawton starts to close in on that lap truck as well. At least for now, he started on the pits. He's down a lap, but at least for now, he's in that position to be in the lucky dog, and if there is a caution. And that's not a bad place to be, but you got to stay close to the leader when that happens because typically here in these long green flag runs, it's not going to be long, and we'll start seeing some more guys start heading the lap down.
Yeah, where that one truck is, if he stays right there, right there behind the leaders, he's in a perfect position, like you said. The rest of the lap cars, the guys who are slower, they're going to have to yield to the outside, which is, customary what they do. As soon as they do that, the one truck is going to slip right by them and, gain that first car lap down position back. So, I'm going to see if he can keep up. He's perfect right there, and it looks like he's staying on that back bumper of the 8 of Adam Gilliland. It looks like we got one car on pit road.
Yeah, we got one truck already making a pit stop down pit road a little bit early here on lap number 28. But the story, I think, at the moment right now, Adam Gilliland has pulled out to the lead off after lap number 1, kind of pulled away about 0.8 of a second. But look at Chad Lawton starting to close the gap now, down to 0.3 of a second as they work their way off of turn number 4. And the only thing separating him from battling with that lead is that one car of Trey Edson, who is one lap down. They work their way back into turns 1 and 2. It's about to be a race battle for the lead here momentarily. We'll just see if Chad can actually get around that one truck.
Yeah, it looks like the one truck's pulling high. I thought he was pulling high there. It looks like he's just running a little bit bigger arc. But Andy, I was looking at the lap times. It looks like we finally broke it into that about 1 second fall off bracket because the fastest lap of the race for Adam Gilliland was on their first full time lap with a 24.098. He's finally broken in that bracket of about 25.1, 25.2. So we're seeing those tires fall off, and look for the push up coming off of these corners. That's going to spell a lot of trouble for these guys. If they can't keep it down on the bottom, we're going to see them smacking the wall. Like I've seen Brian Schoenberg a couple times. No major damage on that 55, but it's something to look at.
Yeah, it definitely is. Lap car there getting involved with the leaders now as they work their way off of turn number 2, and that's closed the gap now with Schoenberg starting to close in back on that 26 of Chad Lawton. Now under a second back off the race lead as these guys all battle now. 4 trucks, one of them being the lap down machine of Trey Edson right in the middle of it here. As they work their way down the front straightaway and complete lap number 31 and put ourselves about 90 laps left to go here on this one. It goes by pretty quickly here because the lap times stay pretty fast, but you talked about it already dropping over a second now in speed here on the lap times now as the 26 of Lawton now looking to the inside of Trey Edson, not being able to hold on to it right there at that moment. So continuing the lap traffic, continuing to play a factor here right now, and it's a little bit of a cushion for that 8 truck. Gillen probably likes it at the moment, but it looks like that 1 truck actually showing a little speed. He might be a little bit faster than Adam right now here on this run, but it's so hard to pass at this racetrack.
It looks like that 26, he doesn't care if he's faster or not because he's a lead lap car in that 1 truck. He's a lap down. He's a little bit fed up with the 1 truck being there because you saw him through turns 1 and 2 a couple laps ago put the bumper to him, so he's getting a little bit frustrated sitting there behind him. And he's got a fast car. He's caught up Adam Gilliland, but he just can't get past that 1.
You're absolutely right. Plus, he's got the pressure behind him of Brian Schoenberg, because Schoenberg is right there as well, right on his back bumper. Came from almost about a second back and has caught the top 2 now as they work their way through 1 and 2 again. Pushing up the hill just a little bit as that 26 machine. He'll leave the bottom side open. Comes a 55 now looking. Not able to hold it down there for the time being, but it looks like Schoenberg wants to make his move here and get himself up to that second spot as they battle off of turn number 4. Once again, top 3 still pulling away from our 4th place machine. David Krikorian in that 66. It's 2.3 seconds back off of your race lead right now, so a little bit of separation between the top runners right now because it's almost 2 seconds back from that back to the 5th place 39 truck of Chase Gabriel. Looks like pit road's starting to get a little bit busier as well. The 88 machine of Alan Lewis missed it. Missed pit road right there to the 39 truck, Chase Gabriel, so he's going to have to come back around, and that's going to lose him a lot of speed right there. Lost him a few positions as well, but the first truck down, Alan Lewis of our top runners, he was able to come down pit road now. So guys starting to look that way towards pit road, and we're working lap number 37.
And it looks like that 22, he short pitted Jordan Hightower in that pink truck. He pitted a couple laps ago. I watched him. I didn't even notice him come on pit road. He's been blowing past these lead lap cars. Looks like he's sitting 2 laps down. That's a little. He must have been close to the tail end of the lead lap to begin with. But he's going to be one to look forward to as he catches up on the 66 of Krikorian. Oh, Krikorian gets loose there as Hightower moves to the outside of the racetrack. Krikorian's got those old tires. He's trying to hold them off, but there goes that 22 to the outside. He's absolutely blowing past these guys on old tires.
Yeah, he is. That just shows you the difference in speed with the fresh tires and with not. So it'll be interesting to see, since we've had some of our top 10 guys already come down pit road. It'll be interesting to see how long the 8 and the 26 and 55 decide to stay out there, because they're losing a lot of time on the racetrack right now as far as the lap times. Right now they're running just under around a 26-second lap time, and we'll take a look here at the 88 of Alan Lewis, who had made his pit stop. His last lap, or his lap time right now, he's running is a 24, so 2 seconds difference from the lap times from our race leaders and those who have already pitted. The 90 of Eberhardt coming off of pit road, and we can see with these front runners right now, we're starting to get some of these faster guys now with the fresh tires catching up to them. Looks like the 51 of Fuller is going to pull to the inside of Hightower now and make his way around Schoenberg. And look how quickly the closing rate is up to the 26 of Chad Lawton. That's going to allow that 22 almost look to go 3 wide there for a second, and that's a huge no-no here when you're talking about a narrow racetrack like Dover here. Another tricky thing is these guys coming off of pit road, when they merge up onto the back straightaway, it's so narrow that these closing rate speeds are huge. As you see Timmy Hill now 3 wide through the corner there, and he's looking to get his lap back the hard way right there. And I say hard way, but he made it look pretty easy.
These guys have got to be smart. Yeah, they're racing to get back on the lead lap with newer tires, but you got to be mindful. You're racing the leaders right now, you know, and one lap car, the one of Trey Edson. But you know, look at this big old gaggle of cars, and look at Schoenberg. He's on the back end of this little battle here. Just, you know, these faster guys, the Eberhard in the 90, and then Lawton in there in the 26, and then big gap there in the 8 truck, Adam Gillen, as he goes sliding out of turn 4. All these guys getting past, trying to get back on the lead lap, trying to get back in a good position. That's what this has caused. You know, we had like a little tight little battle, and now it's all spread out. Even the 1 truck, he's kind of lost that tail end of the 8 of Adam Gillen. We've seen him. He was glued to it for the past couple laps.
Yeah, he absolutely was, but now this starts to separate you when you have to get out of the way of these faster trucks right now. And off of turn number 4, you see Daniel Eberhard now look to the inside of our race leader, and a couple guys giving each other a little bumper tag right there as they were exiting the corner. That's just all because of the closing rate with these new tires as opposed to the old ones right now. We'll see how everything shakes out, though, once Gilliland and Schoenberg and these guys decide to pit, as the 26 of Chad Lawton decided to come down just a lap ago. So he, from second, has decided enough's enough. These guys are going way too fast for my liking. So he decided to come down. I think he decided to come down pit road, and I look. And, yeah, he is on pit road right now. So Chad Lawton getting his service done, 4 tires and fuel. That's one of those things you don't mess around with at this track either, is you want those 4 tires. You don't want 2 tires that definitely make you a little too tight at this racetrack. And it's one of those racetracks, you want to be loose. You want to be control of the truck, but you want it to have loose, because the looseness on this track definitely gives you a lot more speed through the corners and coming off the corners. Definitely something you want. You don't want to push up coming out of these corners, because that wall will catch up to you rather quickly. Adam Gilliland, though, continuing the lead here, stays on the racetrack for another circuit. It will complete lap number 47 this time by, and still looking right here in the middle of green flag pit stops.
Andy, I want to see where this 26 of Lawton, where he's going to sort out between Adam Gilliland and Schoenberg, because he had one of the best pit entries I've seen. Yes, he smoked up his tires, but, you know, I was looking at it. He hit that commitment cone at exactly 35 miles an hour. You know, he was locking him up, screeching, coming onto pit road. He was going about as fast as you could actually enter the Dover pit road. So I think he made up a lot of time on his pit stop. Plus, he didn't miss his pit stall. Looked like a pretty clean 4-tire exchange. Yeah, where's the 26 going to come on the racetrack when the rest of these guys pit?
Yeah, we look at the standings right now, and Chad Lawton showing a lap down in 19th place here as everything starts to cycle through. But you can see that 22, he's closed the gap a little bit to Chad Lawton, so definitely it was a good stop for him. But there's a couple other guys, Timmy Hill, Justin Fuller, those guys who pitted a few laps, Alan Lewis as well, that pit a couple laps before that 26 machine did, and you can see them on the standings. They're a lap down, so we don't know the exact timing that they are separated, but they are definitely, they were faster. They're out ahead of that 26 machine right now, so definitely a short pit is going to help some of these guys. It's just going to see how it's going to play out on the long run, and as this race starts to wind down, if they have to make an extra stop or not, because that 8 truck's still out on the racetrack along with the 55 of Brian Schoenberg, Justin Weaver, Bentley Glazer, those guys as well out on the racetrack. Looks like Bentley Glazer, though, he will make his way to pit road, so he's down to pit road. But we still have about 10 trucks or so that have not made that first initial green flag stop. So they're deciding, obviously, to stretch this one out just a bit as we work lap 52.
Yeah, split strategy as we get about 9 or 10 laps away from halfway. Big split strategy here. These guys looking to run out their fuel instead of their tires. The guys you've seen pit already, they kind of waited till the tires fell off enough to where they know they can make up as the 52. Looks like he gets a little loose there going around the 03 of Jake Simmons I just saw. But you know, these guys, they're pushing really hard on these new tires, just like we saw the 52 do. You know, they're trying to maximize it, but how much is this going to bite these guys later in the run when the rest of the guys, about the 10 or 15 guys that didn't pit with them, you know, those guys are going to have new tires. It's going to be a whole jumbled up field by the time we get done.
Oh, it absolutely will be. It looks like the leaders right now, or at least the guys that have stayed out here are trying to push the issue. Maybe only make this a one-stop race here if they can make it to that halfway point, which we're coming up on in about 6 laps this time by. So these guys obviously trying to make it a one-stop race, where these other trucks have to make it 2 stops. So it'll be interesting to see how this strategy plays out for everybody here, and it makes our life a little bit difficult trying to keep track of who did what. But we'll see how it all shapes up as we continue on right now. Our leader, Adam Gilliland, still continues to lead over Brian Schoenberg right now, 0.6 of a second. So work their way down the back straightaway, and this time by we'll have exactly 65 laps left to go here at Dover International Speedway, and we're not going to cut it loose just quite yet. We want to see these leaders hit to pit road. When they do finally make their stop, definitely made the racing around the racetrack all over the place, even though most of these guys are showing a lap down right now. All the guys that are around, they're racing for position. The 36 Bentley Glazer just made a nice move around to get around one of the lap down trucks. He currently has showed 2 laps down, though, in that 28th spot. He's got a lot of speed, but he's got to be able to get around these race leaders here before they get down the pit road if they want to make up any time. You'll definitely go down 2 laps making a green flag stop, so everybody's in the same boat. It's going to definitely jumble up the running order, at least how we run currently right now. Still 10 trucks that have decided to stay out and stretch the fuel, run on these older tires right now. It looks like Adam Gilliland trying to race around these guys that are so much faster. Almost slid up in front of one of those lap down machines right now. It looks like the 8 truck of Adam Gilliland is going to pit on this lap here. Make it on lap number 56. It's going to be a close one getting down on the pit road, and he does able to slow it up. It looks like the 55 of Brian Schoenberg as well will come down on this lap here, lap number 58. So just shy of that halfway point. I think these guys will be able to save up enough fuel to at least make up those 2 laps here. Garrett Smithley in that 63 truck, he's going to come down pit road as well. He's been running in that 5th spot since everybody has come down. Oh, and it looks like he missed pit road. The 63 missed pit road entry. We talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast, how tricky this pit road entry can be, and it bit another one right there, that 63 truck. So Garrett Smithley will come down this time, and hopefully he doesn't miss it again, and he'll make his way down pit road, but that's going to cost him big time here on the racetrack as this runs under green flag conditions. Adam Gilliland, who was our race leader, now makes his way off of the pit road. And it looks like the 19 right now, Tyler Dalton, is shown as our race leader. See how it cycles out through here the next time by. It looks like he's going to get passed right here by Adam Gilliland. I'll put Adam Gilliland 1 lap less to the negative, put him back, I believe, on the lead lap. It does. Puts him on the tail end of that lead lap. Few guys still staying out right now. E.J. O'Rourke in that 41 truck sitting second. Good run for him, starting 26th. He made his pit stop early on, and it looks like now he's trying to make up some ground. Sits in that 2nd spot, I said as well. The halfway point is upon us. So it's time to run through our LSRTV Midway Race Break, powered by iRacing.com. Tyler Dalton, known as your race leader. E.J. O'Rourke sits 2nd. Paul Cooper is running 3rd. 4th goes to J.D. Laird. Chad Lawton, who's running 2nd before these pit stops, is in the 5th spot. 6th goes to Rich Jetty. 7th is Alan Lewis. Mitchell Hunt runs 8th. 9th is Timmy Hill. And David Krikorian runs 10th.
Justin Fuller at 51 is running 11th. Daniel Eberhardt is running in 12th position, up from the 24th starting spot. 13th starter Richard Beasley running in 13th. 14th right now, Dollywood. Chase Cabry missed pit road when he tried to come on for his first round of green flag pit stops. He's running in 15th on the lead lap. Danny Scoville in 16th. 17th, Trey Edson. Jordan Hightower in 18th. Adam Benefield, Tommy Ryan round out your top 20.
21st on the board is the 8 of Adam Gilliland. Brian Schoenberg showing 22nd. 23rd goes to Alan Cryer. Bentley Glazer runs 24th. 25th is Stephen O'Rourke. Chad Coleman, last truck on the lead lap, is 26th. Justin Weaver is 1 lap down at 27th. Jake Simmons, 28th. 29th is Scott Mitten. And Luis Calderon is 30th.
31st right now, Garrett Smithley. You saw him miss pit road. John Wilco in the 62 running 32nd. Tyler King in 33rd. Mason Baker, your final starter, running 38 laps down. I'm also hearing Garrett Smithley had a speeding penalty his second time by, trying to make up some time there from missing pit road. He's going to have to come down one more time. Looks like he already has, running 3 laps down.
And that has been your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of racing possibilities on the web, go and visit iRacing.com and sign up today. We've reached that halfway point, and it looks like just about everybody has made their way down to pit road on this green flag pit stop, and we're going to go LSRTV nonstop so you don't miss any of the action. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, presented by Garrett Smithley Racing, right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
The 2016 iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series is all about change. New teams, new drivers, new tracks, even a new logo. And oh yeah, there's a brand new car. After 5 years of competition, we say goodbye to the Williams FW31 and we say hello to the McLaren MP430. But this isn't just a brand new car, it's a whole new ballgame. And with it, we bring new excitement, new strategies, new technology. For example, energy recovery and drag reduction systems. There's a new way of thinking about racing, and for all the drivers participating, it's back to the drawing board, wiping the slate clean in the ever-consuming pursuit of perfection. One little slip-up, one wrong move on track, one poor strategy call, and it's over. That's the difference between coming up short and becoming champion, and being $10,000 richer to boot. So yeah, change is in the air, but we're going to start getting answers on the 27th of February as the 7th year of iRacing World Championship competition kicks off. And you won't miss a thing, with every single race live on iRacing Live, coverage brought to you by Racebot TV. So join us fortnightly from 1:30 p.m. GMT.
Welcome you back here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. It's the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series, Dover International Speedway. We've been clean and green, some trouble while we were under caution for the 39 of Chase Cabry as he came off of turn number 2. Just got a little bit of contact with the 8 truck of Adam Gilliland, hit the inside wall on the back straightaway, and looks like his night will be over for Chase Cabry, who was running inside the top 20 at that time here. But when I mentioned SegPay, for over 10 years, SegPay has been processing online payment transactions for merchants in all categories with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in card not present transactions and have a strong relationship with acquiring banks and credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. They're the proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series. And of course, Garrett Smithley Racing, proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley and the number 0 JD Motorsports, Chevy Camaro, that you can see every week in the Xfinity series of NASCAR. Here we are at Dover, working lap number 72. Or excuse me, I should say a lot more than that. Here is Chad Lawton is shown as our race leader. Chad Lawton had taken over that race lead. He had pit a few laps ahead of Adam Gilliland. Adam Gilliland currently running in the 7th spot after staying out as long as he did. We know he could probably stretch it to the end here on this one, but he sits 7th right now on the board, 8 seconds back of our race leader. Mitchell Hunt, good job by him, starting in the 14th spot. He currently runs 2nd. David Krikorian probably evened out pretty well there from when he pitted to where he is now. He sits in that 3rd spot. Timmy Hill has made a good jump up. He's up to the 4th spot, and Richard Beasley rounds out your current top 5 right now. Chad Lawton, a 3.3 second lead over Mitchell Hunt. He definitely made a good call on the strategy when he came down pit road.
Yeah, one thing, Andy, you were talking about the A truck, Adam Gilliland, and those guys being able to make it. I may be wrong. They pitted on about lap 58 or 59, so we could be talking about some fuel mileage here to the end for these guys trying to make it. I'm going back, looking at my notes, see what. Yeah, it looks like Adam, he pitted on lap 58 and was slowing for on lap 58 and ended up pitting on lap 59 as we see Timmy Hill coming on the pit road. But he's catching the 26 a lot with those newer tires, but it may be close for Adam. He may have had to save a little fuel just to get to that point, just before halfway. So we could be talking about some major fuel mileage.
Yeah, we could be. I think he can make it because we saw a few trucks run over lap 60. So I think the fuel itself, I think these guys can definitely run more than 60 laps. I think it was just at that point, it was close enough to the halfway point. I think that's why that 8 truck, along with the 55 of Brian Schoenberg, decided to come down pit road when they did. Right now, as some cycle of pit stops goes around again, Timmy Hill came down for the second, probably the last time here tonight. He is on pit road, and Chad Lawton continues to work his way as your race leader. 5.3 seconds now, 6.1 seconds over Adam Gilliland as everything continues to cycle around again. So Adam Gilliland, he's close to the front right now, but he's quite a bit away now from your race leader as they work their way off of turn number 4. It looks like Garrett Smithley got a little loose right there running around our race leader. He's able to get around that truck for the time being. It looks like Garrett Smithley going to work the bottom side, though. Going to get back around the race leader there to keep at least another lap off of the board there from being a lap down as the 51 of Fuller makes his way around. Chad Lawton making his way to pit road, locks it down right there, does a kind of a lazy slide right there into pit road. That just shows you how difficult this pit road entrance is. It sneaks up on you. We'll see if he gets a penalty or not as he completes service there. Adam Gilliland back to the race lead here on lap number 84, and he works his way a pretty good lead right now, 2.7 seconds over that 55 machine of Brian Schoenberg.
I'm looking at the replay and the telemetry. It looks like the 26, he was at 35 miles an hour about maybe 5 or 10 feet before the cone, so he made it in glorious fashion.
Barely made it.
That 26 at Lawton, but he made it. One thing though, how much time did he lose? Doing that little lazy spin, because it looked like he got down to about 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much time he lost, but at the same time, how much time is he going to gain here? As Adam Gilliland, I'm guessing here, is probably going to stay out the rest of this race here as we work lap number 86 right now. 120 is the scheduled distance. We'll also see if he can make it to the end here as they go 2 laps. It's not out of the question as far as saving fuel if he has to save fuel. I'd rather only have to save for 2 laps than 10 laps.
I'd rather have to not save fuel at all, because the few times that I've done it, I ended up screwing it up, losing more time on the racetrack than I would have just by pitting. So I'm not good at it, but that's the reason these guys, they have that little black stripe on the back bumper.
Hey, you're absolutely right. We talk about that week in and week out, just the strength of the field and the good mix, which is really nice to see here at the ASCORS League, in the trucks and both in the Cup Series, which runs on Sunday nights right here on LSRTV. We had the week off because of Easter, but we'll get back into it at Martinsville this coming Sunday night as well. But these guys making some interesting points as far as I-rating with all these guys in the field. The strength of field's definitely got to be up there, and I'm referencing towards the official side of iRacing when they grade the strength of field of each of the official races. But this one definitely high up on the charts here with a lot of pro drivers in the field tonight. One of those sitting on the top right now, 3.3 seconds in a little bit of time on Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg falling off just a bit here on this. It could be him saving some fuel. It could just be the fact that 8 truck is hooked up like he has been, leading the most laps here tonight. Going to work lap number 90 right here, so 31 laps left to go. This one's been a pretty quick race here, only about 40 minutes into it, and these guys are putting down a fast pace here. We've been green since the beginning.
Yeah, Andy, the last few races we've had here on LSRTV, they've been tough racetracks, 2 of them at Phoenix. You know, they've just been just those kind of racetracks bring caution. You know, it's such a tight racetrack, such a hard racetrack to drive. Here at Dover is no different, but you know, these guys putting on a show and caution free so far. Hopefully we don't jinx it here, give it the old broadcast curse. But you know, these guys, these guys, they're doing so good. Just to you know, we've seen a couple of guys spin off, like Chase Cabrey ended up getting caught up with the 8 Adam Gilliland. That, you know, would have been a caution in real life, but iRacing doesn't trigger it, so we stayed green. As look there, the 52. Danny Scoble, Davey Scoble, he got a little loose there on the inside of the 8 of Adam Gilliland. So those guys, they're fighting around these leaders, and they're just trying hard to control this car. Dover is just such a slippery racetrack.
Yeah, and it's such a tough one to get around. They don't call it the monster for no reason at all, and it's definitely one of those racetracks that you're up on the wheel all the time. And when you have these long green flag runs like we have right here, and 93 laps into this one, and these guys obviously you got to be getting a little bit tired, a little bit sore, but you know that closing in on that finish is coming rather quickly here as Adam Gilliland continues to stretch out his lead right now. We're only showing 3 trucks though on the lead lap. Justin Weaver in the 38 truck sitting third. He's 20 seconds off the race lead. That's what all these guys with the 2 pit stop strategy are in right now. They're a lap down at this point. They got to basically make up. They got to pass the leader, and then they got to make up another 24 seconds on the racetrack in only the 35 laps we have remaining. So, I mean, that's a tall order when you're talking about this racetrack. So, I really think that the strategy of a one-stop race is definitely going to pay out.
So, going through turns 1 and 2, we got a battle for, looks like the first car on the lead lap, the second car on the lead lap position for Timmy Hill and the 26 of Lawton. Lawton, one of your leaders, as they get very close. They're going into turn 3, but Lawton's going to take it. See if the 4 Timmy Hill tries to do a little bit of a move, trying to get past him as these guys get a little bit squirrely. They're coming off of turn 4, but before Timmy Hill's going to let him have it, Lawton's going to chase him down, see if he can, like you said, catch up the leader, pass him, and then do it again.
Yeah, because the 26 is definitely the first one, or the fastest one, I should say. Him and the 88 of Alan Lewis, last week's winner, who currently right now is actually ahead of Chad Lawton, working his way off of turn number 4. Those are the top guys that have made 2 stops here in this race. So they are sitting with a nice position right now. I mean, it's a top 5, but the question is it a race-winning move? And currently right now, as they run and the laps start to tick away, even more so towards the finish, it's definitely going to be something to think about, or something these guys are going to be thinking about. Like, well, I got a good finish out of it, but definitely wasn't the call possibly to win the race here. Obviously, a caution would throw a wrench in everything here with all these guys being a lap down. You'd see a lot of wave arounds, but at the same time, with the wave around, they can't come down and pit. So they're going to be on old tires, and they're not going to have an opportunity anyway to race Adam Gilliland and Brian Schoenberg for that win. So those 2 guys, the gap, I should say, for that race lead has pretty much stabilized itself over the last 10 laps. Still just over 3 seconds now between the 8 and the 55, and Right now they work on lap number 99 coming to the line this time. We'll have 21 laps left to go in this one. It's going awfully quick there, Gabe, but maybe we should have done 400 miles here tonight.
Andy, don't make me hate you. The way it's going right now, we're going to have this race done, in less than an hour. We did, about 10 laps in maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Don't check the math there on the lap times. But these guys, they're absolutely flying.
Yeah, they definitely are putting a solid pace to this race here tonight, and it's just been awesome. A good thing to see a green flag race like this all the way on a racetrack like this where it's so difficult to pass and where tight quarters definitely can play a factor in that. We're watching right now Brian Schoenberg having to deal with some of these guys as we jump on board with that 26 machine of Chad Lawton. He just got around the 88 of Alan Lewis, so that'll move him up to that 4th spot. Still a lap down right now, and he's working his way around Brian Schoenberg in that 2nd spot. Still about 3 seconds back of our race leader, and that's just to put himself back on the lead lap. That's not to get all the way around the racetrack as well to catch up to him as well. We're running down on the time, though, in this one, and they're definitely going to run out of time. A caution is going to be the only thing that's going to put Chad Lawton back in contention for the race win here tonight. Working lap number 103. Going to give us 18 laps to go here. 17 when they come back to the stripe this time.
Yeah, I think what Lawton wants to see, as soon as he gets past the 8 of Adam Gilliland, he's going to be the 4th truck on the lead lap, and the first or the last car on the lead lap. That'll give him the option to pit if there's a caution as soon as he gets past the 8. In the next few laps, he's going to catch him. He's going to be within that threshold. If we get a caution, we will get a restart. The 19 truck gets a little bit loose in front of that 26, but Lawton, he is really banking on a caution here in the next few laps. So he can pit, with the rest of these guys, and the 8 of Adam Gilliland's going to be on the same tires. That's going to save him and pretty much doom the field behind him because, as you said, the wave around cannot pit under the caution. They have the option to pit under green after the restart. Is here comes that 26. He's got those new tires moved to the inside. The 8 of Adam Gilliland. Gilliland's going to stay in the lead because that 26 is 1 lap down. He's got to do it all over again, Andy.
Yeah, 24 seconds, and this time by he'll have to do it in about 15 laps. Not going to happen. Sorry. Yeah, I maybe if he just got fresh tires, he might be able to do it, but at this point in the run for Chad Lawton, it's just not going to be enough to catch back up to the race lead. He does have an opportunity, though, get a podium position. Justin Weaver just 5 seconds ahead of him in that 38 truck. He's just now working his way to the start-finish line. So Justin Weaver possibly might get thrown off of the podium here. We'll see if Chad Lawton can catch up to him. It looks like he gained a second on him there, so I definitely give the opportunity for Chad Lawton to make that possible right there, to get another spot and get himself at least on the podium. May not be a win, but at least get him a podium finish. That'll still be a good night here at Dover.
Yeah, we're looking at the 70 or the 71 of Mitchell Hunt and the 4 of Timmy Hill. They've also caught Adam Gilliland. There goes that 71 down the inside of Adam Gilliland. So that's going to put a few more guys in the lead lap. So the 8 rolls a little bit high, letting these guys on new tires go. There's that 4 of Timmy Hill. 4 trucks got new tires just the same as the 26. So these guys, they're also fighting. If there's a caution, they have a chance of this win. As you said, that 26, he's catching that 38. He's got time to do that. He's got time to make up a podium position. He's really fighting for an interview right now in the post race as the top 3 get in. So these guys, they're all fighting for something. Mitchell Hunt, if he's got new enough tires, he's also in that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's 3 seconds back right now of Chad Lawton in that 4th spot. So Mitchell Hunt, a winner already this season here at the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. Of course, Mitchell Hunt got it done at the 1.5 mile at Atlanta's 2nd race into the season. So he's looking for his or another solid run here tonight. He's got it. He's inside the top 5, looking for more. He can possibly get a couple spots, but I think that 26 machine just a little bit too quick. Maybe not, because Mitchell Hunt gained another second that last time by. So it looks like Mitchell Hunt trying to gain up some time as well. Might have a pretty good battle on our hands for that 3rd spot here in just a few laps. This time by, though, Adam Gilliland He just hit the 10 lap to go mark as he works his way now through turns 1 and 2, and he's got a couple more trucks, faster trucks, lap down, working their way on the outside of him. And you can see him trying to get around David Krikorian there, trying to get around him. Krikorian sits right there. Pass for third, though. Chad Lawton made that pass right there into turn number 1. That's going to move him up to that third spot, so he has made it that far now. He's still 20 seconds back of our race leader. Not going to happen in 10 laps.
No, not going to happen in 10 laps, but that 4 Timmy Hill and 7 of Mitchell Hunt, they've also got a chance to catch that 38, because that 38's a little bit slower. They're on older tires. Race is pretty much over with for Chad Lawton, but these guys back, the back half of top 5 and 6 and 7, they've still got some positions to make up. They've still got a chance.
They absolutely do, and as the laps click off, we're getting more trucks back on the lead lap, tail end of the lead lap, I should say, as Krikorian was able to get around Adam Gilliland, so that puts us 7 trucks on the lead lap here as we close in on the finish of this one. Adam Gilliland, this time by, will have 7 laps to go to get his first win of the season under his belt. Off of turn number 2, and it looks like Adam Gilliland, he's going to have a few more trucks coming up behind him. A couple of those. Good run. We talked about him early on in the race, the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. Started 24th, right now shown in 9th place. First truck, 1 lap down. He's closing in on Adam Gilliland, trying to get that spot back, or get back on the lead lap, I should say. But a solid run for Eberhardt in this star-studded field that we have here in the ASCORS Truck Series. So that's a huge, good run, a good confidence thing for a young driver like Eberhardt to come in here and have a good, solid top 10 run like he's doing.
Yeah, he's done a real good job. Started 24th, as we said. He ran 11th in practice, so we know he had the speed all night. He just couldn't get the pit strategy correct, but he's got it working tonight. The final couple laps up to 9th, closing in on being the last car 1 lap down, as he's going to work around the 8 of Adam Gilliland. We're inside 5 to go, Andy. I know this is your favorite time of the race to talk about the little procedure.
A caution would come out at this point in the race here with 4 laps to go, and that would be the end of it. So we're basically racing to that next flag, whether it's the checkered flag or whether it's the yellow flag. So for Adam Gilliland, it's pretty much keep that thing straight right now, and we'll hopefully not see that caution, and we can keep it clean and green for the remainder of this one. Off of turn number 4, he's going to cross the start-finish line and get the 3 to go mark from the flag man here. Adam Gilliland doing a great job continuing the 3-second lead right now over that 55 of Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg had the same strategy as well, and he's maintained that 3-second gap this whole run, so he definitely had the speed in it, at least the same lap times as that 8 truck here all night long. So good showing for Brian Schoenberg as well. We haven't seen him run too many of these races here this season, so but when that 55 truck going to get out on the track, he's going to be fast. Doesn't matter where we go from. Chad Lawton has closed the gap quite a bit now, down to 8 seconds from second place Brian Schoenberg, and he's running out of laps now as Adam Gilliland works his way off of turn number 4, and he's going to get the white flag and head to turn number 1 for the final time.
3 turns 1 and 2, couple lap cars battling there on the inside, fighting for that 10th and 11th position. Alan Lewis and the 83 Adam Billafield, but those drivers do not matter at this point. It's that 8 of Adam Gilliland rolling through 3 and 4 for the final time.
For the final time off of turn number 4, that 8 truck, Adam Gilliland in that Jegs machine, will get his first win of the season, and we'll now have our 5th different winner in the SegPay Truck Series here for ASCORS. A good win, a good solid strategy for Adam Gilliland, a one-stop race for him, and it got the job done. Caution-free all night long, a solid race by everybody out there, and a good job by Brian Schoenberg coming home in second. Chad Lawton got that podium position. He will finish in the 3rd spot. We're going to take a second. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll go a full field rundown of where everybody finished here tonight, and we'll also talk with our top 3 finishers. And we'll do that when we come right back. You've been watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Ready, aim, fire.
We welcome you back here to Dover International Speedway. We just had the conclusion of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series Dover 120 right here. And, of course, Adam Gilliland picking up the win. We'll talk to him in just a moment, but first, take you through a full field rundown and tell you where they all finished here in this one. Green flag from start to finish, and Adam Gilliland will lead the most laps, and he will dominate this one, pick up the victory. Brian Schoenberg will finish in that second spot. Chad Lawton, late race comeback, finishes in the third spot. Mitchell Hunt finishes fourth. Fifth went to Timmy Hill. David Krikorian will come home in the sixth spot. Seventh goes to Justin Weaver. Richard Beasley finishes eighth. Daniel Eberhardt, solid run, finishes ninth. And rounding out your top 10, Adam Benefield in the 83.
First car outside of the top 10, last car on the lead lap. Alan Lewis in that 88 was running fourth. I believe he had to pit again or something along those lines. He lost a lot of time, but he ends up coming home 11th. It's last week's winner. J.D. Laird finishes one lap down in 12th position. Doy Woods in 13th. Justin Fuller in 14th. 15th is going to go to Tommy Ryan. Paul Cooper in 16th. E.J. O'Rourke in the 41 in 17th. Bentley Glazer, Rich Jetty, and Chad Coleman round out your top 20.
Coming home in 21st tonight was a 22 truck of Jordan Hightower. Alan Cryer will finish 22nd. 23rd goes to Tyler Dalton. Scott Mitten finishes 24th. 25th goes to Stephen O'Rourke. Trey Edson finishes 26th. 27th goes to Jake Simmons. Louis Calderon will finish 28th. 29th goes to John Wilco. And 30th goes to Tyler King.
Last few cars here that started the race, not the night they wanted. 31st, Davey Scoville ran till the end. In that 52, finishes 31st, 16 laps down. 32nd, Garrett Smithley in the 63. Chase Cabrey ended up being really our only wreck of the night. Didn't bring out a caution, but he comes home 33rd, 48 laps down. Mason Baker rounds out your field 95 laps down in that 31. Well, that's your field for the race here at Dover. And now we're going to throw it to Andy in victory lane. He's caught up with Adam Gilliland.
I have caught up with the driver of the number 8, Adam Gilliland, who comes home in the top spot, dominating fashion here at Dover International Speedway. And Adam, congratulations on the win. First win of the season and the fifth winner in 5 races. Not too bad for a start of the season for ASCORS.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It says a lot about the league to have 5 different winners out the gate. I had a pretty good race. Definitely feels pretty good after having what happened last week happen. So nice to get a win and to help propel myself up in the points.
You're absolutely right about that. Now, we saw 2 different strategies come into play here tonight, and Two of them, we'll talk about you and Chad Lawton. He finished his third 9 seconds back. He made it a two-stop race. You decided to go to the one-stop. Obviously, coming home with the win, the one-stop was the choice, or was the one that got the job done here. How hard was it running out there trying to make it to lap 60 when you saw all these guys running by you with those fresh tires?
There was definitely a lot of debate which strategy to go with. Originally, I ended up doing the strategy I originally wanted to do, thank God. But a lot of teammates, guys that I was working with, elected to do the strategy Chad was on with two stops. I figured that with how long of a pit road Dover is, that the time lost on pit road, you won't be able to make up out on the racetrack. So that alone was what factored into my decision to only pit one time, and it proved out to be the right strategy.
It absolutely did, and obviously you try that strategy, and your strategy going into the race is, if it goes green, this is what I'll do. Well, it went green all the way. I mean, that's another factor with this league and with the drivers and the competition level that's in this series. The fact that you can run at Dover 120 laps and not see a caution, that's pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, that says a lot about all the guys that are racing in the league to be able to give that much room and to race that clean for 120 laps. I know Brian's sitting there smiling because he, from August or whenever him and JD decided to come up with a concept to bring this league back, it's going a lot better than even I think they could have imagined. So hopefully it keeps going in this direction. We keep having clean races like this, and ASCORS will be a league that hangs around for a long time.
Most definitely will, and not to mention the truck count, I should say. I was about to say car count, but the truck count has been awesome as well for the first 5 races for this season. But you got yourself a dominating win here, obviously make up for last week's misfortunes for yourself. And when we do that, we head to another track, and next week we get to head towards Charlotte Motor Speedway. Pretty similar, I guess, as far as length to what we had last week at Kansas, but definitely a smooth racetrack. But that one with the trucks, size up that place for yourself. I know it's usually pretty fun there.
Yeah, Charlotte's a fun racetrack. Everyone looks forward to going there, or everyone looks forward to going there. I'm not sure if it's a night or a day race. That'll tell you a lot about how the race is going to be. I think if it's a day race, you're going to have a very hot and slick racetrack with lots of guys sliding around, searching around lanes like they did at Kansas. So it'll be interesting to see if they choose the night or day configuration. But overall, it should be a great race, and hopefully we can have another caution-free race.
Well, definitely could have that effect here next week at Charlotte. But you picked up a huge win for yourself. Like you said, it made up for last week, but you come out here dominating fashion. You take the field. You put the whooping on them here at Dover, and you get the job done with the victory. Sponsors, shout-outs. Who helps you get that 8 truck here?
Yeah, I just got to thank Gary Mercer Trucking. They support me on the Pecan Free Series side, so got to give them a shout. I haven't really had the best performance in that series for them lately. So also got to thank Brian and obviously JD for all the work they're pouring into this league, SegPay for sponsoring the series, and you guys for showing the series to everyone watching.
We appreciate that. We appreciate everything you did, and congratulations again on the win, and we'll see you next week in Charlotte.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There you have it. The winner here tonight, Adam Gilliland, and now I'm going to send it down pit road to Gabe, caught up with our second place finisher.
Yep, down here on pit road, Brian Schoenberg. He wears 2 hats. He's the driver and the league owner. I want to talk to the league owner first. At all the racetracks where you could have a green flag to the finish, from start to finish, Dover, really, Brian? I mean, you got to be smiling from ear to ear, just like Adam Gilliland said.
Oh, yeah, I definitely am for sure. I was telling a couple people before the race, I kind of had a little knot in my stomach, before the start of it, because Dover can go both ways. It can go green forever, or it can be a wreck fest. And luckily, we had the first option there. It went green forever, and, really proud of everybody in this league and everyone that ran the race. I assure you cautions were set on in the server before we launched it, so that was definitely one heck of a show, and it was fun to be a part of, especially from behind the wheel. I don't get to race that often, so when I do, I try and get the most out of it, and that was a lot of fun tonight. The track really rubbered in there the second portion of the race, and it was getting pretty dark out there, so that's kind of cool to see as well. But I just absolutely loved Dover, and for them to put on a race like this with that many trucks and that many good people in here was a heck of a feeling. I'm a very happy person right about now. All
right, that's league owner Brian Schoenberg. Now I want to talk to the driver. It's, as you said, you don't get to race that often. This is what, your third start of the year, third or fourth start. Haven't been able to run all the races. I believe you missed 2, so that does make 3. But, when you got out there, you got to be racing hard, and you're going to have to be going for wins all year. Getting second, it's close, but it really doesn't matter. When do you think you'll be your 6th different winner in the league this year? You think it'll come this year?
I mean, you can always hope so. This is one of my best tracks, so I was hoping for a good showing, and we were able to do that here. The first run of the race, basically the start of the race, I was trying to save the tires a little bit, and before Chad pitted under green and everything, I think I may have been the quickest truck, or one of the quickest ones, because I was able to run them down a little bit, and I pitted on the same lap as Adam when we made our one and only green flag pit stop of the race, and I gained quite a bit on him on pit road entry, but we lost it on the stop and for some reason on pit road exit there. But it was a solid day. My truck drove really good. I mean, I know in here with it being fixed setup, we all have the same truck and everything, but mine felt very good the whole time, and I was really comfortable. And I mean, I had my old friend Jason Loafing calling the shots. He used to call shots for me in the Peak Antifreeze series, so it felt like, the old days when we were running good. It felt like good old times right there, and he was absolutely correct with the one-stop strategy. That was the way to go, and the people on the strategy ended up being 1-2 with Adam, so congrats to him as well on the win. You guys saw it last week. He kind of got robbed of that at Kansas when he was dominating it, so glad to see him, get it here this time around in this race. So he definitely deserved to win that one. That was a heck of a show, though.
All right, Brian, I know you got a lot of people to thank, not only as your driving duties, but also the league, so go ahead and take care of your sponsors.
Yeah, totally. The first thing I want to thank is just Garrett Smithley and SegPay for sponsoring this series. To tell you the truth, I think the action in this series has been absolutely awesome all season. I think you guys would agree with me on that. So just a big thanks to them. Big thanks to him for participating, showing the interest in the league. Thanks to Mike Main Performance PC, for sponsoring our GN series. Matt Salo and Progi Consulting for, the Cup Series that you see here on LSRTV on Sundays. And, it was just a heck of a show. And just thanks to, JD and Adam and Josh Geyer and everybody that helps admin the league and everything. It's just a heck of a show. And, when you have shows like this, it makes it pretty much all worth it. I mean, there's not too many places out there where you can get something like this. And what we have right now is kind of a special product, I think. So very proud of it at the moment.
All right, Brian, congratulations on your second place finish. The whole field basically did 2 stops, and you and the first place driver pulled off the one-stop strategy. Congratulations. Now I'm going to throw it back to Andy. I believe he's caught up with our third place driver.
Right. I am down here, further down pit road, and dried off just a little bit, and I'm able to catch up with Chad Lawton. Chad, you came home in the 3rd spot. You were the first guy on that two-stop strategy. A little bit short. You were up there in the top 3 at the beginning of the race, started on the pole, but you did end up finishing in the 3rd spot. You were able to get around a couple of those guys late in the going. But talk about the call of trying the two-stop.
It was a good win, first and foremost, to Adam. He obviously had the better strategy. Honestly, I didn't know the truck was getting really loose, and from watching some of the DWC races, I kind of noticed that when the cars are getting looser, everyone's pitting. And I tried to do that, and then once after I got about 20 laps after that first pit stop, I realized that I probably wasn't the right strategy, and just had to stick with it and see what the outcome came. And 3rd place is really good for me. I a really bad showing. I want to say last week at Kansas, got in the wall and wrecked a few good drivers. And I never got the chance to apologize to those guys, so I apologize. But it was a good race. Caution free at Dover is always fun.
Oh, it definitely is. Talk about that. I mean, coming into the race, you obviously strategize for that. If it goes green all the way, when you're going to pit. And then at the same time, cautions come into factor, and that changes everything around. But you didn't have that tonight. That shows a lot for this series and the drivers and the talent level that's in this series as well.
Oh, definitely. I used to run in this series back in the 2000 NR2 on 3 days, and this was pretty much the series where I began sim racing. So It's really impressive that we were able to do that at Dover. Let alone it's ASCORS, but any other series, it's very impressive to go caution free at Dover. It always seems to be a track that rubbers up and gets really loose, and becomes really hard to drive and holding on to the truck. And it was just a good night for everybody.
Yeah, it definitely was, and you get yourself a solid finish here tonight, third place. Can't complain, I guess, about that. You got yourself on the podium, even with the different strategy of our two winners here, or top two finishers on the night. So, sponsor shout-outs. Who helps you get that 26 machine to the track?
Always got to give a shout out to the team for all they've done for me over the past few years and what they're doing now, and most of all, Dylan Duvall for the paint he did for specifically for the ASCORS series here at the Truck Series, and everyone else here for putting on a broadcast.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate what you do on the racetrack, and congratulations again, third place finish, and we'll see you next week at Charlotte.
Thank you. Have a good day.
There you have it, our third place finisher, Chad Lawton. He comes home with the solid run at the end there to pick up the podium. Well, Gabe, it was fun. Caution free all the way through. This one went pretty quick, and it's fun to see when you can have a race like that with these type of drivers. I mean, it all comes down to the talent level that's been brought to us in this series.
I mean, even with the talent level, you wouldn't expect a caution-free race from Dover. It's been one of the best races we've seen here on LSRTV in a while. I mean, the action was, it was here and there, but just, seeing guys go through separate strategies, not have to, come on pit road every 10, 15 laps, get 4 brand new tires, and just race hard till the next caution. We see guys actually have to use their head and sometimes use their crew chief, as, Schoenberg's case, but, they have to play it smart, and we saw, guys played two-stop strategy, had to make up a bunch of time, and they didn't have the time to do it. And then the two guys who played the one-stop out in front by basically a mile.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you know what? It's fun to see, and when you get a race that does exactly that, goes caution-free from the start to the finish, then it comes down to two things: talent, and then it comes down to strategy. And obviously, Chad Lawton, he had a good call. I mean, it was there was two ways it could have gone, and for him, it's still started on the pole. He was running the top 3. He finishes with the top 3. So you can't fault that strategy at all. Obviously, it was a little bit different. It came out on top. But, I mean, add 10 laps or so to this race, and you might be talking about him catching those two guys. So, I mean, it all comes down to a whole bunch of things factored in. But in the grand scheme of things, I really don't think either strategy was really, I would say a bad call or a good call. I think they both worked out, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like they played the strategy and they ended up being a lap down. We had about 10 cars on the lead lap. 6 of them or 7 of them had to work their way by the leader. And I was counting down the seconds. I believe the 26 a lot made up about 9 seconds in the span of 10 laps while we were doing the call to the finish. So he was coming and he had the tires to do it. Like you said, 10 or 15 laps, we're talking about a whole new race, not only because of the tires, but that A truck and the 55, they'd be, pretty close to running out of fuel.
Yeah, it was definitely close. Obviously, a lot of things factor in, but hey, this is why those guys have black stripes. That's why you can see them on Tuesday nights in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series as well. So, obviously, getting the job done here tonight. They come home with the victory. Adam Gilliland, a great job as well, getting the job done in dominating fashion. And like he said, it made up for the wreck last week after he dominated most of that race as well. But with that said, this race went pretty quick, and it's all over here from Dover here on this Wednesday night. Well, we can't step away without mentioning, of course, our wonderful sponsors that help get this done week in and week out. SegPay. For 10 years, SegPay has been processing those online payment transactions for all the merchants in all categories with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in card-not-present transactions and have strong relationships with acquiring banks and credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. And, of course, Garrett Smithley Racing, the proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley and the number 0, JD Motorsports, Infiniti Chevy Camaro. For more information on ASCORS, you can visit them on ASCORSRacing.com. I'd like to thank League Administrator Brian Schoenberg and, of course, DJ Lyon as well. And you can also stay up to date with everything LSRTV. That on the web at livesimracing.com and, of course, at facebook.com/livesimracingtv. Hope you all tune in tomorrow night, Thursday night. The Domino's TYJ Racing Series is back here on LSRTV as well. And, of course, check out our schedule online, and you can see all the action that comes along with that all week long right here on LSRTV. And, of course, iRacing Live. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Been a great race here at Dover. Congratulations again to Adam Gilliland. We'll see you all tomorrow night right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.